A research group says Metro Manila might see a return to its pre-surge COVID-19 numbers by the end of the month. An expert thumbs down proposals to postpone the vaccination of kids aged 5 to 11, which is set to begin on Monday. And the camp of church founder Apollo Kibuloy questions the timing of the US FBI's release of his wanted poster. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Riza Diaz. We begin the newscast with the Octa Research Group saying that COVID-19 cases could drop further in the coming days. Octa's Professor Guido David said infections in Metro Manila could go back to pre-Omicron surge levels by the end of the month. That is if the current downward trend continues. Guido explains that the actual numbers have been or being reported have begun to fall well below the group's projection in late January. Now on Saturday, NCR made up just 877 of more than 7,600 cases nationwide. Now, an infectious disease expert rejects notions that the COVID-19 vaccination of children aged 5 to 11 is being done at the wrong time. Speaking earlier here on One News Now, Dr. Benjamin Ko pointed out that the vaccine allocated for the age group already have an emergency use authorization. Ko denied that the immunization drive is still experimental, stressing that this will help prevent kids from developing complications due to the virus.
Children from 5 to 11 years old who get vaccinated are at 91% lesser risk of developing the MIS-C, or the multi-system inflammatory syndrome, which we see in children in this particular age group. So there's a higher protective efficacy for this vaccine.
Along with that, Ko also pointed out that the side effects that children may experience appear to be lesser as compared to adult vaccinations. The pilot COVID-19 vaccination drive for children aged 5 to 11 will begin across Metro Manila tomorrow.
If you look at the pediatric population, there are less side effects, or less systemic side effects compared to adults. And most of the adverse events that occur in children are usually local. So at the site of injection, it is painful, there's a little swelling, just like any other vaccine that is provided.
Now, as for today's COVID-19 bulletin, the Health Department has logged over 8,300 new infections. That brings the total caseload to over 3,609,000. 126,000 are undergoing treatment. The virus killed 312 patients overnight, with the death toll now standing at more than 54,500. Total recoveries are now at 3,428,000 after over 18,400 survivors were logged. 21.5% out of some 38,000 tests recently conducted yielded positive results. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Highly controversial pastor and President Duterte's spiritual advisor Apollo Kibuloy is now wanted by the US FBI. Now, how did his camp react to this? Camille Samonte tells us in this report.
The US FBI publicly released its most wanted list in their website on Saturday, including Kingdom of Jesus Christ founder Pastor Apollo Kibuloy. This came after he and two other church members were indicted of sex trafficking and bulk cash smuggling in the US. Kibuloy's camp decried the move, questioning the timing of his release, as a federal grand jury indictment was made way back November 10 last year.
Bakit hinintay pa po hanggang ngayon kung kailan mag-uumpisa ang kampanyahan para sa national elections kung kailan inilabas itong poster na to?
Topacio also pointed out that there is no need to ask for Kibuloy's whereabouts as he is not a fugitive in hiding.
At alam naman ng lahat na meron pang proseso sa extradition kung talagang kailangan siya ay pumunta sa Amerika.
With this, Topacio believes that this is a deliberate move to tarnish President Duterte's reputation, a known friend of the pastor. Recall that Kibuloy had recently endorsed the candidacy of Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and his running mate Mayor Sara Duterte.
Indirectly, it is undermining the candidacy of Sara Duterte, of Bongbong Marcos, or whichever candidate the United States does not want to win in this country.
Their camp, however, assured the public that if the U.S. asks for the pastor's extradition, they will not ask a special favor from Duterte.
We will just rely on the provisions of law, on our justice system.
The Justice Department, meanwhile, has yet to receive an extradition request. But Chief State Counsel George Orta II vowed to handle the case properly despite Kibuloy's connection to the president.
Kung ano man yung magiging dapat na gawin ng Department of Justice, gagawin namin. Susundin namin kung ano ang sinasabi sa ating konstitusyon, sa ating batas, at doon sa tamang proseso, regardless doon sa mga involved na personality. Kasi whether si Pastor Kibuloy man yan o hindi kilalang tao,
Orta also clarified that if Kibuloy and his associates get extradited, the U.S. court will still decide whether they are guilty or not from the accusations. For News 5, Camille Samonte, we are One News.
Presidential aspirant and Vice President Leni Robredo suspends her office's pandemic initiatives 2 days before the official campaign period starts. The initiatives have been temporarily halted while awaiting the COMELEC's response on whether to allow their programs during the campaign period. Now, these include her Bayanihan e-Consulta program, vaccine express sites, swab cab, and other medical assistance. Recall that Robredo's camp filed an exemption request before the COMELEC and attended a hearing in January. Now, though candidates are going all out as early as now to boost their standing in the elections, the official campaign period has yet to start. Starting February 8, candidates are not allowed to campaign without the permission of the COMELEC Campaign Committee for each locality. Candidates are also prohibited under COMELEC rules from giving money as a form of ayuda or holding raffles. Now, for the first time ever, the full span of Van Gogh's self-portraits featuring 16 of his works are being explored in a new exhibition. Let's watch this.
If you think of someone's self-portraits, you think of Van Gogh. It's so famous. And also, it's not just his inimitable style, it's also his story. People love this story of this artist who struggled with mental health, who had a difficult upbringing, a very intense individual. And every portrait you look at, even when he's got a straw hat on to make it look a bit lighter, you can still see he's got that intense stare in his eyes and his angular features.
Now, for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.